Hello and welcome to Open Mic Podcast with Chris Evans and Phil Nichols, episode number 3. And we even have intro music live. I usually record this and then add it in, but now
what kind of intro music is this?
Well,
it's sensual.
It's
What are you doing?
I went to Facebook copyrighted music that would play it. Okay, so
think this through.
No, but okay.
What kind of show is this?
No, hold on. See how I was able to fade it down and get it back up? Okay.
Freaks me.
I don't have the right music. Well, I just got music that I knew that would get us through without getting us kicked off.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully you're not the only one that's...
Might spark some phone calls from...
I hope not. All right. Well, Phil, we got some things that we want to get into here on this podcast. We're going to talk just something that just happened moments ago through the governor's office.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little gun thing real quick. We won't be long on those. We want to go over the Chamber Awards. We want to talk about Tracy Zerden and her announcement as the Chamber CEO.
Yeah.
We got a new city council member.
Yes.
That's in. And we'll take a few comments as well. And for our video audience, if we freeze up, it will be a true podcast. So if it freezes up, it has a few times. If it does it again, apologize. You just have to listen to that. But you can still comment, and we'll go through some of your questions and comments as well. And at the end, I got a Phil, I did not tell you what you're going to be doing here at the end. Here in a little bit, Phil will be guessing. There's a survey that just came out, a thing that just came out. They list the states 1 through 50, smartest to dumbest. Here in a little bit, Phil, I want you to try to guess the 10 dumbest states.
Oh boy!
By this survey. So
you're gonna give me some background on that? So
I'll give you. I'll give you a little background. But so be thinking of the 10 dumbest states.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to turn my back to the camera, so I apologize to you folks out there. But just got an email from the governor's office. What time did this come out? Came out at 9:30 this morning. Governor Kevin Stitt issues executive order banning state-funded travel to California. As millions of people across the United States come together for the National March for Life, Governor Kevin Stitt announced today a ban on state-funded travel to the state of California. And this is what the governor had to say. California and its elected officials over the past few years have banned travel to the state of Oklahoma in an effort to politically threaten and intimidate Oklahomans for their personal values. Enough is enough. If California's elected officials don't want public employees traveling to Oklahoma, I am eager to return the gesture on behalf of Oklahoma's pro-life stance. I'm proud to be a governor of a state that fights for the most vulnerable among us, the unborn. So, so that was...
I'll go ahead and throw it out there that California is going to be on my top 10 list.
Now you want to be right when you guess your dumbest states. So, all right.
I think that's good, though. I think it's good he sends that stuff. I mean, if they don't want to spend their dollars here with us in government travel, why should we do it for them? I mean, California. You can have California.
I thought I'd get your blood blowing here at the beginning of the podcast.
Well,
that'd be good.
I'm proud of Governor Stitt for doing that. You know, of course, as I told you, we were talking about it a little bit before. So I think some of that's nothing to see here on some other things he's working on right now.
Compact.
I think he might be realizing
Tribal
that
compact.
might have been a fight better left alone.
Well, he's on an island by himself.
Oh yeah, sure. Him and Tom Hanks have something to say.
Yeah. So right now the casino compact deal is basically in court trying to figure out who's right on the contract. Right. Does it expire? Doesn't it expire? Right. Then after that, you can move forward to whether you can negotiate or not. But
now he may I don't know. I don't know anything about the contract. All we know is what both sides tell us, and it has their own spin on it, right? But
right.
I know just from a personal perspective, it seems like what he's simply trying to do is say, come on now, you make a lot of money. You can give a little bit more to the state of Oklahoma than you are, So It is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we shall
I sure agree with this, though.
Yeah,
it's good.
Another thing that Phil forced me to talk about. I turned over my shoulder for our video audience again. I apologize, but state representative files legislation concerning firearms and public safety, and basically the guy that does not like the gun. Well, he's saying he doesn't mind the carry. He just doesn't want the long guns in restaurants. Restaurant owners have had to make decisions of to allow, not allow. It's put them in a weird spot with people, and it has happened. You don't see it everywhere, but and why you would do it, I don't know why you would do that. But
so you're making a point.
Just trying to make a silly deal. But he's trying to remove long barrel guns, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to this guy earlier that was, I think, actually arrested in Oklahoma that wore it into the restaurant as an AR-15. Yeah. And I'm the proud owner of AR-15s. I think they're fun to have. We've been out shooting, Chris. They're a good time. And,
yeah, they are.
Not once have they ever jumped out and shot anybody by themselves, and I've never been inclined to use them for that purpose. So I just, and that's. But I don't understand the logic and why. And I know people say, well, because I can. Well, okay, great. I mean, are we 6?
Yeah.
So common sense would be nice. Now, I think part of what he's arguing too, and I'm no fan of this gentleman.
You want me to read it to you?
Yeah, please.
Let me read it to you real quick.
Yeah, because it's
House Bill 3357 would repeal last year's permitless carry legislation. Permitless carry, also Constitution. This is State Representative Jason Lowe, Democrat from Oklahoma City. This is his quote. "There is no doubt in my mind that if people got to vote on whether firearm safety training should be necessary to carry a firearm in public where our children are, permitless carry would not be the law. The legislation is a product of the hundreds of conversations I've had personally with Oklahomans who want irresponsible gun owners to carry firearms in public. Don't want irresponsible. Yeah. Having patrons carry long barrel firearms into a restaurant isn't good for business or the mental health of the restaurant patrons. Oklahoma, especially children, veterans suffering from PTSD, people suffering from mental illness, should have the ability to enter a restaurant in Oklahoma and not feel threatened or endangered by the presence of military-style weapons." That's Jason Lowe.
I mean, listen, if I'm sitting in a restaurant in a town I don't know anybody and a guy walks in with an AR-15, it's going to get my attention.
Yes.
Does he have a right to do it currently? Yes. Common sense would tell me that he's not doing it for his personal protection.
Right.
He's doing it because he can, and he wants to create whatever emotions he's trying to create. I actually agree with what I think the spirit of this proposed legislation is, and we've had this conversation, and I already know the argument people will say, but we have to go prove that we know how to operate a vehicle safely.
Right.
And I know it's not a constitutional right to drive a vehicle before everybody starts telling me that.
Right.
And Chris, do you know anybody that loves the Constitution more than me?
Oh, well, red, white, and blue.
There you go. Yeah. These colors don't run, Chris.
Colors don't run.
But I mean, I'm serious about all that. But we got to use some common sense. I wish to God, what's wrong with saying, hey, let's do some training so that if you do need, God forbid, to use your weapon to protect you and your family, you can do it in such a way where you don't shoot yourself in the process, or you don't die because you don't know how to properly wear the weapon. If you're concealed carrying, where are you carrying it? How do you unholster it? How do you handle clothes in the process when you're trying to get the weapon out? All these things become a trained and become proficient with the firearm instead of just saying, well, I have a right to carry one, so I'm going to carry one. I mean, all about the Second Amendment. I'm all about people having the right to do it. I would just like to know that they know what they're doing with it. I mean, and I've seen people, we've been out shooting before, and
yeah,
just because you own one doesn't mean you know everything about it.
No, in fact, I'm one of those, I have to go out and learn.
And practice.
I mean,
it's not natural.
It's not natural. No, it is not natural. Yeah. And I went through John Hudson, I'm glad to say, through his DEF CON is what I think he calls it. And I went through that, and I asked all the questions in the world because I just wanted to know. I mean, I didn't know how to hold a firearm. I was completely new to the entire deal when I did that. So I didn't, you know, I've been out with you, just learning
basic stuff. Yeah.
But there is a part of me, I don't know if there's no way you can do it. I don't want to say they're idiots, but you shouldn't be able to carry a long rifle into a restaurant. I mean, you say you shouldn't? No. I mean, it just looks. I mean,
it looks stupid.
It looks.
I mean, what it says is I'm being a jerk. I'm trying to get a rise out of people. I'm trying to draw attention to myself. You know, I've always told you with open carry, I've always said I would never open carry.
No.
Because I don't want to be the guy in the restaurant. If there is an active shooter and the guy says, well, he has a gun, let me shoot him first. I mean, I'm just not so.
I mean, it's just.
Common sense would go a long ways in this discussion. I mean, a long way.
Okay, I have 11-year-old little Lance Evans.
Yep.
And a guy walks into Stacy's with a long barrel.
Scare the daylights out of him.
What do I tell him?
Yeah, it's okay, son. Just enjoy your hamburger.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know him. We don't know what his intentions are. But you know, he has a right to carry it. So
I know.
Everybody else. I mean, it's.
I hope he has 16 guns hitting underneath his coat. Right. But just the long barrel.
I'm with you. We're both very, very much Second Amendment rights people. We both conceal carry.
Yeah.
Our wives both conceal carry. I mean, we believe in that right as an American citizen. I just think it comes with there should be some responsibility that comes with it also. And use common sense.
And talk all the rest. I went through the background check. I got my fingerprints. I paid my fees to the state.
And you got your training.
And I got my training. I wanted that.
Yeah.
I want that. Just so if anything, you know, like if I ever get pulled over, God forbid, hopefully not, say, hey, yes, I have, but here's all my information.
But you don't have to have it now.
Don't have to have it now, but I thought out of courtesy of law enforcement, I want them to know everything about what I have.
I got pulled over earlier this week coming back from Enid. Very nice.
We can have this story every week.
Very nice officer. Really was. Nice officer.
I got pulled over in the same town you did about 10 years ago.
I think a lot of people have been pulled over there, but he's walking up and I stuck my head out and I said, officer, I just want you to know I have a few firearms in my truck. And he kind of chuckled, said, I appreciate you letting me know. And I said, okay, I just, don't want, and I think by law, I think we're required to disclose that. And if it's not, I might be wrong about that, but let's say it's not a law. Common sense would say that if you're pulled over by law enforcement, it's a good idea to say, hey, I have a weapon on me. I have a weapon in the truck. They're loaded. Because if a weapon's not loaded, what do you have, Chris?
You have a
pistol.
Oh, you have a rock.
And if it's a rifle,
you have a club.
That's all you have. But the point being, we need to communicate with people, and everybody stays safe that way.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think if you're carrying an AR-15, you're doing it because you're trying to get a rise out of somebody.
Pam Wagner makes a comment. Appreciate her tuning in. Phil, she says, I agree with you. I agree. You will be taken out first if they see you are carrying openly. That was from Pam.
Now, Pam, because of my bubbly personality, I might be taken out first anyway. But I've always thought that was just kind of common sense. And I never went through the training with John or with Dawn. We have a lot of good instructors down here.
Military,
right? But I've been trained a ton.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I think that I'm the caliber of an instructor like a John or Dawn or any of those guys. But I've probably shot more rounds downrange than 99% of the people in the world.
Yeah.
So it's just, but you should be trained. And then most importantly, if you're going to carry, practice.
Yes.
Practice pulling your weapon. Practice getting your weapon clear of your clothes. Dawn, when the unfortunate shooting happened in Texas at the church, the most recent one, he put an excellent story out on Facebook.
Don Hudgens,
yes,
Bone County Sheriff's Office,
excellent, and an expert firearms instructor, just first class guy. But he put an excellent story out there breaking down that shooting. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I don't think so.
But in there, he put the stats out there, the data. It's basically from the time you're going to engage. It's like 2.9 seconds from the time you realize where shots are typically fired in a shooting situation.
Yeah.
And so you can't hesitate. You got to get, if you're going to if you're going to get busy, you got to get busy. And if you don't practice something as simple as clicking your weapon from safe to not safe. Now, most handguns that I own don't have a safe feature because I don't want one.
Right.
But if you do have one, which I think is smart, and you're in that situation, if you don't practice, you're going to forget it's unsafe.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Yeah.
So you got to practice. You got to practice. So anyway, enough about that.
All right. Let's move on to some local stuff here in Guthrie. Again, this is the Open Mic Podcast. We talk about almost anything that we want to. We like to keep it statewide, local as well.
Try to stay away from the nationals.
Try to stay a little as far as from all that good stuff. Yeah, it is.
There's enough of that crap.
Don't know who to believe anymore.
I don't believe any of them.
Yeah. And so when we get into especially football season, we'll be using this platform to talk with coaches and all that good stuff. And we might be able to pull in some interviews. We can do that with video, or we can do that through phone with our new setup here, new program. But so there's a lot of things, and we need to have some few guests coming. We need to probably set something up like that. But anyway, the Chamber of Commerce had their awards. They had their banquet that night, and they presented some awards. And I thought this year went really. No, I'm on the Chamber board, but I'm not a part of the picking out the crew. So that's not me, but
it went really well.
It went really well. It was jam-packed.
I did get some feedback. It was too crowded, and I would be one of those that would provide that feedback.
Okay.
It's almost like we've outgrown which this is a good thing, and it's not a slam on Trey and them, and they do a wonderful job. But I had some folks that aren't from Guthrie that were guests at our table, and some that are from Guthrie that are guests at our table that expressed that, hey man, this is great. We love it. We just feel like you can't move.
Yeah.
And I do think the service, and again, this is meant to be constructive. I would have rather seen us come in, be served our food, and start the program.
Okay.
Because I think it went way too long for some people.
Yeah, I agree. It did go a touch. And I'll be glad to present that. They're always looking for feedback on that.
It was wonderful. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great evening, but I just think those are a few areas, and I really do believe that we've outgrown that room. And
that's a good thing. That's
a good problem. Of course, you go, well, where are we going to go now?
Right.
You
just cut the.
Well, and there was a new facility recently built that's bigger that I know they've done doing some fun that private citizen built, and somebody brought that facility up to me. Robbie Hudson built a new facility for this type of thing. Not suggesting that that's what anybody should do or that they shouldn't do, but I think there are options out there. But I think we want the event to continue to be successful and generate money for the organization. So you don't ever want to scale back on it because you don't have room.
Right. But, no, that's I'll be glad to share that. We hadn't talked about that.
Yeah, before, we hadn't.
Yeah, so that's
saying all that, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I think. What Tracy, we'll talk about her in a little bit. I think that's what Tracy would want to hear, and the board just to consider all the possibilities. You got to look at it. Absolutely.
Evening. Yeah. I mean, but you should always be looking to do. If there are things out there people are saying, you want to hear them. Yeah,
absolutely. But Chamber Awards, I think there was five of them given out.
I didn't get any again.
Yeah. Well, you got
forever.
Yeah, you got to talk in the microphone.
Yeah, might be the last time I ever.
I was so nervous in my own mind when you started talking that I wasn't able to look over at Tracy at the table because I know she was probably freaking out, thinking worst case scenario. Yeah. But
I was kind of I said I'm feeling a little ornery, and I wasn't mean to anybody.
No, you weren't mean. No, a little fun.
But the people that really know me had a right to be a little nervous for a while. Well, I like what you said, and I really don't think you meant to say it. I think it was reactive. You said, "Well, it could have been a lot worse."
Oh yeah. It could have been.
Could have been.
5 awards given out, and I can't remember what they were in order, but CASA, the Court Advocates, got the nonprofit of the year. Yeah. That was well deserved.
Very much so.
They've been in they revolved in Payne County, but have moved to Logan County here the last couple of years. And they've got a really good job of bringing people in to mentor these kids. There's a really good group of people helping them out. So they got Costa was a nonprofit of the year. Kevin Kraft, a good friend, was the small business of the year with State Farm. And it's cool. I don't think anybody knew ahead of time that they had won. So that was kind
That is cool.
That was a cool deal. And Kevin was recognized for all the helping State Farm, a big part of that as well, with the grants for the Guthrie Public Schools.
State Farm Corporate does a great job through their local agents, making monies available. But it doesn't just happen. That agent has to work to get that money for the community. And Kevin, I think he says he's been here a little over 4 years.
I think that's right, yeah.
Has been active since day one. And I don't know Kevin real well, but seems like an absolutely great guy.
Yeah, he really is.
And yeah, so
doing the legwork to get it all on there. But then he's out on curbs. He's going to lunches. He's going to businesses. He's telling them to vote. Yeah. And he was extremely active with that. So,
but well-deserved. And his staff, I think are all local folks.
Yep.
But very well deserved. Of course, I was teasing Chris afterwards. I said, "When did State Farm become a small business?" Being facetious, I was playing, but no, well deserved for Kevin. And like I said, they've been plugged in since the second they got here, so that was great to see.
Yeah, Oklahoma State Bank was named the Business of the Year out south here on Division Street. They got that award. Citizen of the Year went to Jason Reese, and I thought that was well done.
I mean, we both love him.
Yeah.
I mean, sincerely love him as a friend. And it was good for all of us to see it. I think it was a lot more emotional for a lot of us than I think we realized it would be. But yeah, beyond deserving. And he's one of the good guys that everybody cheers for every day and puts a lot back into the community, a lot back into individuals. Has the uncanny ability to be friends with everybody.
Yep.
Even people that maybe aren't friends with each other, he's friends with them.
Right.
Which I love.
Uh-huh.
And then his wife, Marcia, and Jason said it, he said this is more about her than it is about me. And she is an incredible lady. But, yeah, it was a special moment. And it was cool having Damon. The reality is this, and I told somebody this, there's several people that could have introduced Jason, and it would have fit. You could have. Gary Mize could have, Seth Robbins. I mean, there's a lot of people that are very close to, I think I could have. They're very close to him, and Hetty's very close to Jason. James Long's very close to Jason. So it was cool. I mean, he's completely turned his life around.
Yeah, it's a great story, and if you don't follow him on Facebook, be sure to do that.
Proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to follow that as I introduced our Lifetime Achievement Award. We'll get to him here in a second, but I had to stop just for a brief second, just like, oh gosh,
why'd you do that to me?
Because I was asked to present the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I loved every part of it except for writing it because I felt so nervous putting a speech together for Jeff Chappell, who got the Lifetime Achievement Award.
The most non-situationally aware man in the room that night.
Yeah.
Chappell's usually, so he likes to say, astute. He was not astute that night because his beautiful wife was in attendance.
And Jillian.
I mean, but Debbie, anybody that knows Debbie knows that's just not her thing.
Yeah.
It's all about her kids. It's all about her grandkids. It's all about her family. But if it doesn't have something to do with her kids or her grandkids, Debbie's usually at the house.
Yes.
She's just not
very
much a home. I mean, that's what her life is her family.
Very similar to my wife. She doesn't like to get out a whole lot. She does, but
they're not. I mean, it's not that they don't care for people. It's just not their number one thing.
Yeah. Not their top priority.
That's not their top priority.
Not their top priority.
Jeff afterwards said he was caught off guard. I thought, well, you're the most unsituationally aware man I've ever met.
Yeah.
Did you not see Debbie here?
I think his kids played it off a little. I think they did something with that. So, Jeff Chappell,
well deserved.
Lifetime Achievement Award, named after John Gummerson. So that was a fun night. That was a fun night.
Good night, a great night, a lot of fun. Raised some money.
Yeah.
I don't. Do I like the NBA?
No, you can't stand. Can't stand.
No, that's pretty accurate. I don't like the NBA.
Yeah.
I think they take a great game and they destroyed it.
And yet you bought 2 tickets.
My bride wanted to
And
spend an evening out.
a Sheraton.
Is that what it is? I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
No, it's coming up. It's in February sometime.
Oh, is it February?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Cleveland Cavaliers. It wasn't.
Are they bad?
Yeah, they're bad. They're not any good.
2 bad teams.
Too bad. No. Thunder okay.
Are they? We
Yeah.
500?
Oh, yeah, above 500.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've been to a few games. Used to have season tickets to the Thunder. Shocker. Years ago when they first came to town. And, but what I will tell you, I learned is that they, the entertainment at halftime is better. I like that more than the game. They always have somebody like trying to get out of a 1,000 gallons of water handcuffed, and they're going to drown. I mean, it's like a circus down there.
Yeah. Well, and even
How late do
timeouts.
those games go? Because I got a pretty strict bedtime.
Yeah, you sure do. Tip off is at 7:00. Games are usually over about 9:30, 9:45. But aren't you going to use the hotel the same night?
Yeah. The whole evening.
It's a walking. Oh, that doesn't count dinner though, does it? That's just the game and the.
Was there no dinner included?
Well, you get parking.
Parking at the hotel, I would assume.
I hope so.
Isn't the hotel right down there by?
Yeah, it's down in there. Yeah.
We could do one of those carriage things.
Yeah.
Romantic fella I am.
Or the bicycle thing.
Do I have to pedal?
No, they have.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, they have peddlers. They have peddlers. Okay, we'll stick with Chamber here real quick. It was announced on Wednesday of this week at the Chamber Coffee. Well, those coffees are getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
They really are.
I mean, it used to be when you go to a Chamber Coffee, which are Wednesday mornings at 9:30. Everyone was able to introduce themselves and what business they were, but now it's too big; they can't do that. But it was jam packed at La Quinta, but through La Quinta Inn, La Quinta.
Correct pronunciation?
Is that?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I believe it is.
All right, see if I can get you to second guess yourself.
They're dog friendly too. I did not know that.
That's good.
That is good. 3rd floor is dog friendly.
Get you up top, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if anyway. So through Hetty actually did, I don't know, because Tracy would get too emotional. I don't know what the background is. I didn't want to ask.
What did he do?
He did a great speech of Tracy leaving.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't able to be there.
Yeah. I wasn't able to go 2 weeks ago, but you were there.
Yeah, and then we can't get our Wednesdays.
Nope, cannot. But Tracy leaving the Chamber. Tracy joined the Chamber in 2016, August 2016. I haven't really, before 2011, I really didn't follow a whole lot of news. I did a little bit, but not like I do now. But that's almost 4 years, 16, 4 years.
One of the longer tenured Chamber execs we've had in recent time. I mean, in quite some time.
Yeah.
And has done a great job.
Yeah. She has the great personality.
And works hard.
Works
at it.
The one thing I would say that it's a good thing for the fault of her. She tries to make everybody happy, and she knows that's not easy. Can't do that, but she still tries anyway. I mean, she is one of the kindest people.
She is,
and I want. So we wish her best luck. She's staying here. She's going to join her husband and his company, work together. So her final day won't be until end of April, 1st of May. But I invite you, if you follow a lot of podcasts, I invite you to follow the Hetty Coleman podcast. Hetty and I bounce ideas off each other all the time on podcast situations, scenarios. But he just got done. His latest podcast, as we record this now, was with Tracy Zerden. And that was a good 25-minute podcast. If you want to learn more about Tracy and the Chamber, it was really well done. Hetty's got some good podcasts. I invite you to follow his podcast over there. I know he talked to Lindsay with the YMCA. That was a 40-minute podcast.
Lindsay and I had a conversation.
You and Lindsay talked?
Well, we didn't know it, but yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, a while back.
I like to say standing. Most people would say lurching in the streets and checking some things out and
see.
I think she was a little scared.
Exactly. See, I really, really like Lindsay, and so I will have to be there when you.
Yeah, because she won't get it.
No, she will not get it, and she absolutely should be scared of it. And then I'll be the moderator in between. just get through the little front that Phil's about to do.
That's all it is. I'm having fun. I mean, that's what I mean, I don't mean anything, but I really don't. Like, you were with me. I don't remember which YMCA director was. Very nice young lady. You remember this? When you introduced me to her and I started in on, oh boy, everybody gets a trophy.
Oh, yes.
I was completely playing, although everybody does get a trophy, but I was completely playing, but it scared her a little bit.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, but I remember very well those eyes staring. Absolutely. Okay. Local news, Guthrie City Council has a new appointed member to the city council. Cheryl Padgett was voted in. 4-2 was the council vote. Cheryl Padgett's, this is the second time she's been appointed to the city council. The first time was in 2013. The council members voted her in. I think Sherry Mueller had stepped down in 2013, April 2013. And then Cheryl ran a campaign in 2015, won that seat. I think she got 63% of the vote during that election. And then in April 2019, last year, Dawn Channel and Cheryl Padgett ran against each other. Dawn Channel obviously won that election, 164 votes to 158 votes, very close.
6 votes?
6 votes.
So basically Dawn's family.
Well.
No, I'm not meaning that. I'm just saying very.
Yeah. No, everybody. No,
I don't mean it that way.
No. Wait. No, yeah.
Let me hit pause.
What you meant to say? It
was close.
No, listen. Hold on.
Oh boy,
hold on. I got a sound effect for that. Where's that sound effect? It's this one.
That's it.
What Phil meant to say was every vote counts.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It was close. Trying to put it in perspective.
Like if Chappell ran for election, he would win by a landslide because he has 574 family members in Guthrie.
Now, I have a lot of family in Kansas, but I still couldn't win an election, and that ought to tell you.
But you can have 574 family members here in Guthrie and still lose, Phil.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm an acquired taste.
Yes.
But and I want to clarify this. I had some fun at Dawn's expense at the Chamber Banquet, right? Or it wasn't really at his expense. I mean, he handled it great.
Oh, yeah. He does that well. He plays it off well, too.
He likes to do that with people. I'm playing around with him. So I had a couple people that thought
you were serious.
That I was really trying to go after Dice. I'm not doing that. I'm just messing around. Everybody breathe a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
Were they?
No, they were. Yeah, they liked it. They thought it was fairly funny. And I said, you do realize I was just playing. Now, Dawn's done some things on council that I don't like, but you and I have had this conversation. He's a very smart guy, he's passionate about what he believes. You know, he's not afraid to stand up for what he believes. I don't know how you can be critical of that. You may not agree with everything, but, I mean, what he's doing, stand up. I mean, he's trying to do what he thinks is best. That's what you should get out of an elected official. True?
Yeah, I was pulling up a comment here. And I'll bring up Jordan's comment here. I think this is a comment that we're going to get ready to get into here in a little bit. Jordan Tooley, good to see you, Jordan, or hear from you, Jordan. She says, nothing against any council, but what do you think about always bringing back old council and not getting fresh new minds in there? And thank you, Jordan, for that question. And what she's referring to, and when I was writing a story yesterday for Guthrie News Page, I knew there had been 3 appointments when someone resigns, the council interviews, and they appoint by a majority vote. I didn't realize it was in a short amount of time, but we've had 3 resignations in just 13 months.
Yeah, a lot.
So Jason Smalley ran against Gaylord Z. Thomas, who had been on there for a while, and Jason won. Jason resigned. The council votes Gaylord Z. Thomas back onto the council. Chuck Bircher, who was a mayor for, 6 years maybe.
Quite a while, yeah.
Quite a while. He won the election against Brian Bothroyd, who was on the council.
In a close election.
No, Chuck won by a pretty good percentage.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was close.
No.
Wasn't it like 40 votes or something?
No, it was like maybe 300.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So it was a significant.
Yeah,
okay.
it was a significant one. But Chuck, due to health concerns reasons, had to resign, and the council appoints Brian Bothroyd back into office. And then the most recent one, Gaylord Z. Thomas, resigned November 30th, 2019. And just this week, Tuesday, Cheryl Padgett was appointed back onto the board. Remember, she ran the election and got beat by Dawn. By those 6 points, 6 votes. And so Jordan brings up the quote. Also, I want to bring up James Long brought kind of the same thing up. I got to find it here.
Where are all these comments?
Well, I didn't give you the link to them. Well,
I'm talking about on like any of the questions.
Oh, they're in the video feed.
Are you censoring me right now?
No, I would never do that.
Oh, no, yeah.
I'm going to turn around here. I apologize for our video audience.
Bugging me. You keep turning your back to everybody.
Well, this our little studio, it's a great office.
It's a little studio that could.
It's a little studio that's working. We're trying to find different camera angles for this. And when it's a one-person studio, it's awesome because it's just me and I have it set up that way. But for 2 people, it's a little tough. But, okay, you got me off track here. I'm trying to find the James Long comment that Jordan kind of brought up here. I apologize.
I'm not really.
James Long, Councilman James Long. I have nothing against Cheryl. I think she's a wonderful lady, but I honestly feel nominating Cheryl is saying to the public, this is business as usual, and we don't care how you vote. The council is making history by not allowing new blood in and recycling the oaths. So Jordan saw that blood reference there. That's pretty good there. This is James Long. This also makes the candidates who applied ask, why did they even bother applying if we're going to just put the same people back in office? So before we go into another topic here on this situation, Phil, your thoughts on that? And you know what? Let me start first on this. There were 4 applicants for this spot. I thought Cheryl and the other lady, just going off the paper, were the 2 best candidates. And to be honest with you, without going through the interview process, which they were interviewed by Councilman Jeff Taylor, Councilman Don Channel, and Mayor Steve Gintling. They're the ones who did. And all 3 of them said Cheryl Padgett aced the interview.
Don voted no on her.
Don voted no on her.
But he said she aced the interview.
They all, according to the mayor, they all agreed that Cheryl aced the interview.
That's interesting.
So with just going off of paper, I thought Cheryl was the most qualified. I don't know if that's the right word. Most qualified, who I think will do the best job for Guthrie. Yeah. Without being on this team or this team, that's just what I think. But the other lady on there, I thought would do a good job as well. Right. So, but
I think, I mean, everybody knows, at least I think most people know that James is a friend of mine. At least I consider him a friend of mine. And I think he would consider me a friend too, but I don't agree with James in this regard. I can see his point. I mean, I can follow his
absolutely. I can follow
his thought process.
Absolutely, I follow as well, and that's it's not a dumb process. It's not a dumb thought. Nope.
So you can make an argument for
absolutely.
That. I just don't agree with it. I've told you this several times. I believe that if you run for office, and if you went out and campaigned and you put the time in and you put the effort in and you did all that stuff, you're the only one that did that. Then if you want to then apply and you go through the interview process, and if the people that are chosen by the council to interview the people and they all say killed the interview, probably aced the interview, then I don't know what the problem is. If you were putting somebody back in that everybody said, well, they did a terrible job in the interview, they're not very qualified, but they ran for campaign, so they should automatically get it. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You still need to be able to check all the boxes that you're the best candidate.
Absolutely.
So to me, whether you've held the office before or you've not, if you're the best candidate that's applied, then that's who the city council should appoint.
I agree. That's my thought process, and I've always put myself in a county commissioner spot because those jobs are tough.
Not to mention, if Don's thinking clearly, he should want her setting up there because he'd have to run against her in re-election, somebody he only beat by 6 votes.
Right.
Clearly, from a strategic standpoint, it would make sense for Dawn to get her on there.
Yeah. And remember, it was just a 6 vote difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So a lot of people liked her through the election as much as they liked Dawn as well.
Right.
And we never knew. Dawn has never came out publicly and said why he didn't vote. Why he voted no for her. Dawn also voted no to put Cheryl on the planning commission, which I think she's qualified to be on. And she did get on there by a 6-1 vote to get on the planning commission. She's a city council member. I think she would be a pretty good. Just again, me looking at who
might just be dealing with a personality thing.
It might be, but I mean, he did appoint her to the airport board with the vote there, but. James was very vocal. In fact, James and the mayor were the only two council members who discussed the issue publicly. Everyone else was just kind of quiet and letting everyone else nothing to see here. Just let them do that. But James, as he said, he likes Cheryl. The reason why he voted no is he didn't like. He wants new people in there, and that's his right, and he voiced that right. I have no problem with him placing that no vote.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, listen, you got to vote your conscience. I mean,
Yep.
If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. I just, I don't know. There were some other words said about, the people don't trust the city and that I did not agree with that.
All right, let me get to that quote here, Phil. I got that right here.
I didn't think that was accurate.
All right, this was James Long, Councilman James Long, says, quote, "The general public has lost trust in our council. In doing this, appointing Cheryl, just solidifies that we don't care. They say the council is going to do what the council wants to do. We wonder why our community isn't growing, and it's because our leadership. We continue to cycle through city managers, and that's because our city councils are harsh, toxic, and unwilling to change. I refuse to be a part of the toxic culture, and please know that I will continue to voice my concerns and my opinions." Of course, the mayor responded to that by saying, "I'm sorry that you feel that the council has created a different environment, James. I hope that you will work hard to fix that. I know I will, and I'm sure that our colleagues on the council will too."
I mean, again, none of this is personal for me, but where a lot of the controversy came from, just to keep it real, because that's one thing I do know about James is he likes people to keep it real, so I'll keep it real on my end. A lot of the controversy on the council's been created since him and Dawn were elected. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that's where a lot of the
last May,
that's where a lot of the controversy, as far as being public and being out there. Now you could argue that's because anytime somebody comes in and challenges status quo, there's going to be that. That's about. I mean, so I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's the perception.
Yes,
and it's. But I think, first of all, our city is growing. It has a larger population base now than it ever had.
I was going to get to that point after we got that. Yeah.
So I don't understand. I mean, I moved here. My family and I moved here in 2000, and I can create a 3-page list of stuff that wasn't here just in 2000 that's here now. 35
and 33 corridor is a big.
So when everybody says this is why our town isn't growing, I don't understand that.
Sales tax is the best it's ever been.
I mean, you got home developments going up all around us, all over us. You've got, and there's stuff everywhere. Now, the downtown buildings have become more vacant. And so I don't know what James was referencing when he said that, right?
Right.
But overall, our town's growing.
And
so I don't know.
And I don't have a problem with our population staying around 10, 11, 12,000. If I want 50,000, 70,000, I would go to Edmond. If I kind of like the size. I mean, I don't mind a little growth over time. I mean, we were 10,000. I think we're close to 11,000. And if we get to 12 and a half, 13, I don't want to.
I don't want to be Edmond.
I don't want to be 40,000.
I don't either.
But I still want us to grow.
Sure. I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, you had a new urgent care facility in the town that invested in our community. They're a client of mine, so I know them well. I mean, they have 16 or 17 of those now spread around a couple state area.
I mean, all the hotels over the years that have been added up. Tractor Supply. I mean, it's
the Walgreens that was built here years ago, back in 06 when they built the new Walmart. I mean, I get it. There's also other things that haven't stayed around. But I think that when you look at it overall, to say that our town's not growing is not accurate.
Right. And on top of that, I want to answer Ryan Cotting's questions real quick. Just stay on it because I want to bring up the special city council meeting schedule for tonight. Don't let me forget that, Phil. Okay. Ryan asked, so does Cheryl have to step down from the planning commission now that she's back on the council? And Ryan, that is absolutely correct. She will have to be off the planning commission as far as appointed. And who knows if she's an ex officio or whatever on there. But yeah, she will have to be off the planning commission and off the airport board. So we'll have 2 openings if anybody wants to apply for those coming up in the future with that.
Well, I think you know, I think the comments were made that nobody wants to apply, and I think I found it ironic because I was on a committee and I resigned because, to be quite frank, I didn't want to participate with what I considered was the circus. Because if somebody called me out, like I've seen private citizens being called out by city council, you'd be bailing me out of jail. I'm just saying it. I mean, I
don't think you go that far, but it would
depends on what was said.
It would be a scene.
It would be a scene, and I just don't. So if we're gonna point fingers about what prevents people from wanting to serve, I don't think it's, well, I applied and I didn't get accepted. I've applied for stuff over the years and not been, picked. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think it more has to do with, do you think your time invested serving on those boards or on those committees is going to be time well spent? Or is it going to be something where you're essentially wasting your time because you're going to get called out by an elected official, or somebody's going to run your name into the ground or say something they shouldn't say? And again, I'm not trying to pick a fight with any one person. I'm just saying, I think that's a bigger part of the reason why people won't or don't want to participate. It's not because they didn't get picked for a board.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the personal stuff. So
before we mention about the special councilman, because that's going to kind of go into what you're talking about, our friends Ryan Cotting and Jeff Fleury are nominating Phil for spots on there. Phil is more than welcome. He could not run for city council because he's in Ward 2, not Ward 3. So he was not a possible candidate.
No idea what you're talking about right now, but I'm getting on Facebook because I'm rather nervous.
So, so you mentioned the back and forth. There is a special city council meeting. It is set for, as we record this on Thursday morning, it is set for Thursday night. Have you seen this, Phil?
Tonight?
You have not seen, okay.
No.
Oh boy, this is...
It's tonight?
Do you know
next Thursday?
The special meeting? Do you know anything about the special meeting?
No.
Oh boy, this is live as we go. We should have got scripted here. Okay, there's a special city council meeting. You need to read Guthrie News page a little bit more.
Well,
I know you're working hard.
When you push notice stuff, I read it.
I can't push
I'm just saying that's when I know it's out there.
I can't push every story.
I'm your top fan. Every time I watch the deal, it says top fan right by my name. What more do you want me to do?
That's because you attack me all the time.
What more do you want me to do?
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, Phil. There's a special city council meeting tonight. As we record this on Thursday. At the mayor's house.
What?
The mayor's house.
What? What?
Yeah. It's
what?
Hold on. It's a, this is not my word. This is in the agenda. Team building council. The agenda has 3 items on there.
Okay.
Developing a team environment and culture.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about enhancing communication opportunities.
Yeah, that's good.
And individual and collective responsibilities.
That's good. Those are all good topics.
So it's team building amongst the council members.
I think that's good. The fact they're doing it in a private setting like that for that kind of training, I think that's good.
Do note, if you watch live or listen live, it is a public meeting.
So anybody can go. What time's this kickoff?
6 o'clock. Lasagna will be served at 6 o'clock.
For everybody in attendance?
I don't know. I don't know that part. It is a public meeting, though.
I show up with a fork. Somebody's feeding me. I'm telling you right now. Well, I'm going to be unable to attend that because I'm going to be watching... hopefully a night of redemption.
Yes, I will not be able to attend. I apologize ahead of time. I have basketball duties, so I'll not be able to attend. And of course, this team building deal is because there's a little riffle going between city council members. So, I mean, if you watch it, obviously, it's we and they. That's not my words. That's usually what the some of the council members say. We.
Cotting's going after the Jayhawks. He's going after Jeff Ball. I mean, what's wrong with Cotting?
We'll address him later. Okay. So there's we and they, and the council is just. I think, and I've seen this with school boards, county commissioners, all different boards. I think there's a time where they learn each other, and just I think over time it works itself out. But right now it's a little rocky. They've had a couple apologies over the last few months between the council members. So hopefully all 7 members will be at the special council meeting and they can work everything out. But
okay, Jeff Fleury and Ryan Cotting need to be put in timeout.
Well, see, they
need to be put in timeout.
See, what they do though, Phil, is they do that and you draw attention to it. It's just like a Facebook thing.
No, I'm talking about Fleury's he wants to give out the address.
Oh, no, it's a public meeting.
I know.
If you, Jeff.
Lindsay and I are now best friends.
Oh, dear goodness. Lindsay, do not talk to Phil without me there first.
We're having this great. What happened?
I mean, I think Jeff is just trying to poke at you, but because I think Fleury, because I think he does read Guthrie News page. I hope anyway. But the address is 809 West Lake Road.
I don't know why would Jeff go after me? Is it because it's in his bloodline?
Oh, Chapel.
The cousins are cut from the same cloth, Christopher.
Okay.
Oh, they are.
Jeff and I saw each other at Walmart the other day, and we drowned in each other's sorrows of I can't talk about, but we have a mutual thing.
So sorrows?
Sorrows, yes.
I thought you talked to me about your sorrows.
Well, Jeff and I bonding on this one.
Your sorrow? Is that what you can't talk to me about it?
Okay, Phil.
What's Cotty nominating me for?
Planning, airport board. Just sitting here watching airplanes take off.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be productive meetings. Put me on the planning commission. Yeah.
Oh, boy, that planning commission, it's all in deal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, coming up here, and I got to pull it up here on my phone, but there's a list that came out, and they go 1 through 50, the smartest states and the dumbest states. Here in a second, Phil is going to tell us about who he thinks is the dumbest states, and I hope you're right.
Okay. Get ready. Are you going to give me like things they did, or what? I mean, is it just my guess?
No, you're going to try to guess if you can guess the 10.
What are they basing it on?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm
being impatient.
Smart. I'm going to pull up my phone, so I have to turn around on my computer here, so our viewing audience will have a little bit easier.
I got challenged to grow my hair out.
Really?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Well, I'd rather not say.
It can't be Gary Mize. Can't be Jason Reese.
I got challenged to grow my hair out because a lot of people don't realize I have hair.
Do you think you do have hair?
Oh no, I do. No, I do have hair.
No, I've seen it, but you think now you still?
Oh no. Yeah, I have hair. I have an 8 head. It'd be.
Oh,
right here's my hairline right here.
Oh,
right
dear good. No, keep it shaved.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you think I did this to begin with?
Okay.
And all this right here, no baldness.
Yeah, and if you're just listening, Phil's basically in the middle of his head is where the hair.
No, Trey. Wait a second. Yeah, that is about the middle of my head, isn't it? Yeah, that'd be a bad look.
Okay, we're not going to do the smartest. We're going to say the smartest for our next show.
Oh, okay.
But I want.
You want the dumbest?
I want the. All right, Phil.
Yep.
Pull it up here. I should have wrote this out. This is not going to go as fast as I want. Okay, Phil. Give me. All right. What do you got?
I'm just supposed to just guess them?
Yeah.
What's it based on?
Oh, damn it. Now I got to go all the way.
Well, that's not my fault.
Sorry, folks. I got to turn my back.
Sweet Jesus.
Don't look at my computer screen because that's where all the information's at.
I'm just a little perplexed.
Okay. This list comes from a website called The Street.
Okay.
When writing this, the smartest and dumbest states in the union, it's important to explain your methodology. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
If I don't have a basis, it's just going to be my opinion.
Well, they okay. They look at
Here we go.
okay. They look at the population with bachelor's degree or higher.
Oh, okay.
They look at median household income, average SAT score, and average IQ and ranking.
Okay. So all the states that I despise are going to be on the smartest list.
Exactly.
All the states that I love are going to be on the dumbest list.
This is going to be so fun.
You want me to go like 10, 9, 8, 7?
Well,
end with number 1?
I didn't write it down like I should have
Or should
before.
I start out with what I think's number? I should build up to 1, right?
Okay. And I wish I would have done sound effects, but I'm really learning this podcast thing. Okay. All right, Phil.
You ready?
Yeah, give me your dumbest states.
You want me to go number 10?
Well,
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm going to put, okay, in no particular order, and I'll try to get to 10, and then I'll tell you which one I think's number 1. Unfortunately, I think the great state of Oklahoma is going to be on that list.
You're calling Oklahoma out as one of the dumbest states.
I'm saying that's what's going to be on this list.
Phil does not like Oklahoma.
I'm saying that's what's on this list. I'm not saying that's what I think.
According to this list, Oklahoma is the 9th dumbest state.
There you go. I'm trying to get the list right.
All right.
Okay. I think it's Alabama's got to be on there.
Alabama is on your list of one of the dumbest.
They have a
Phil,
lot of universities, though.
Alabama is the 7th dumbest state.
I'm 2-0 right now, Chris.
You're 2-0.
We know Mississippi's on there.
Mississippi. You think
Oh,
Mississippi?
yeah. Mississippi's going to be top 3.
Mississippi's going to be the top 3.
Yeah.
Phil, Mississippi is the 2nd dumbest state according to this list.
This might be a walk-off moment.
You're 3-0. You're 3-0.
We all know Arkansas is on the list.
Arkansas.
Arkansas might be number 1.
Just because they're what? Why would Arkansas be dumb?
I'm just saying they might be number 1.
Hillbillies.
I mean, you know.
Phil, Arkansas is the 3rd dumbest state.
I'm on a roll.
What's that? Are you 4-0?
I think 5-0.
You got Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi,
Alabama.
You're 4-0.
Okay.
Man, you're too good at this.
Oh, well, West Virginia's got to be on there.
West Virginia. Okay, I got to look here.
West Virginia's got to be on there.
West Virginia. Let's see here. Again, I don't have this written down. I'm going through my list. Oh, you haven't mentioned that one yet. Ooh, boy.
Might have missed one.
I'm at 8, not number 8. Oklahoma's number 9. The 10, number 10. Okay, that's the smart list. Go. West Virginia
It's not on there.
just outside.
Just outside, 11 or 12?
Yeah, just outside.
Let me think here. Kansas wouldn't be on there.
No, you don't live there anymore.
Nah, I mean, I'm averaging up. I brought Oklahoma into the list. I'm just thinking all that South Carolina, North Carolina, all the states that people are going to assume are, because, yeah, that's what I'm assuming. But Wyoming, those kind of states.
Those 3 are not in the list.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then I don't know. I give up.
Give up?
Yeah. I mean,
Just like that?
Well, I've lost interest in it, Chris. I was excited until I started getting them wrong.
Well, if you would have started going with the SEC conference, you'd have
been okay?
You'd been okay.
Well, Mississippi, I said.
Number 2.
Arkansas, I said.
Number 3. You want since you want me to go
Florida?
No. That's where all the
Texas?
all the.
Is that where all the enlightened people live?
Well, no, Florida's where all the retired. So you know.
okay.
Okay.
Here's the list.
Here's the list.
Number 1. I really thought Mississippi would be your Arkansas.
Number 2. Number 2.
Yeah.
All right. The 10th dumbest state according to this list, not us. We're just going off
That's
the street.
That's not what I think.
I mean, when you go off when I think of the street, that's like the Bible is. That's the website I go to all the time for everything. 10th dumbest state, Phil, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Volunteers. 9th dumbest state, Phil. Well, it was your first guess. Your first assignment, Oklahoma. I mean, what do they say about Oklahoma? Household income 45,000. Average SAT score, but the ACT is more important than the SAT score in Oklahoma. Anyway, population with bachelor's degree in Oklahoma is 23.8%.
Really, is that it?
Yeah. Our IQ ranking is 35th of everybody. Yeah. So, okay. 8th dumbest state, Phil. Kind of surprised here. Indiana.
Ooh.
Indiana.
Hoosiers.
Seventh dumbest state, you got this one correct, Phil. Alabama.
Alabama.
Sixth dumbest state, I apologize, Justin Fortney.
Oh boy, the great state of Kentucky.
Kentucky. Kentucky made the list. They're not even good in basketball anymore. What they got left? No Fortney, no good Kentucky basketball. Fifth dumbest state, Phil, Louisiana.
Oh,
Louisiana. Fourth dumbest state, Nevada.
really?
Nevada.
That actually surprises me.
You take Las Vegas out, what do you have?
Well, evidently a bunch of dumb people.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Good job there.
Charity.
All right. Third dumbest state, Arkansas. Arkansas.
No, Mississippi was number 2.
Second dumbest state, Mississippi.
Number 1.
Number 1, Phil. I've given you a good list of what they think.
Yeah.
What's the number one? Number 1. Oh, I apologize, Phil.
What?
I apologize. You've already said them. I was wrong. I missed it. Well, I want you to re-guess now. The dumbest state, according to this list. You mentioned them. I said no. They're not on the list.
I don't remember now. I was throwing out there a bunch of names. Texas. All
No,
that.
West Virginia.
Well, you said they were just outside.
I just told you. I
went
missed.
through the whole flow off.
I told you I was wrong.
Oh my God. No, being wrong is they were number 10. You said they were just outside. They were number 1, and you told me I was wrong. This is why you and I can't do things together.
The street, which now I despise this website. I used to love them now, but
That's not just outside. That's number 1.
Phil, I said I missed, and the reason why it's not on there is because this list has 5, like it says 9, Oklahoma, 10, Tennessee, 2, Mississippi. They didn't put a 1, and so I didn't see the 1. I was looking for the numbers, and so they, instead of putting the 1, they just put the dumbest state in America is West Virginia.
I mean, I'd have kept playing, but when you shot me down with West Virginia, I didn't think I had a fighting chance.
My
I'm
bad.
putting this all on you.
They're number 1. They're number 1.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 9, 7. Dude, I did pretty well on that.
No, you did really good.
Pretty well on that.
You did a really good job. So our next podcast will have the smartest.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what?
I don't think I can.
Let's just.
I don't think I can say the names.
Let's just do it now.
Yeah, why don't you just tell us? Because I don't even want
No,
the names of those states
hold
to
on.
come out of my mouth.
I've learned not to look for 1 on this sheet. Let's just go right to the smart one. I'm from Oklahoma, so bear with me here for a second. Boy, he's not gonna like that one. Oh,
like
shoot,
any of
that's even worse.
New York, Connecticut, California.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we haven't got to the top 10 drunkest states in America
I
yet.
probably do pretty good on that. Kansas might be on that list.
The most smart state.
Yeah, the most smartest.
The most smart state.
I think they're going to say probably, okay, where's Harvard? Yeah, what state is that? I mean, I don't know what state they're. It's going to be all the northeastern. It's going to be all the northeastern states, and they're going to blend California in there, and probably Colorado. So, because that's what the little liberals will do. Go ahead.
Why don't you tell us how you feel?
I just did.
Yeah. So just take us. Number 1, the smart state.
Well, it's got to be Connecticut or New York State.
You're
You're
close.
I mean, something up in that part of the world. Philadelphia or Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia.
Sorry, Pennsylvania or something like that.
I guarantee it's not Philadelphia.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Up in that part of the world.
Phil, you're right.
You know, I mean, it's got to be up there. Somewhere.
I was gonna let you keep talking because
Oh,
it was getting good. The more you talked, the better it was.
As you know, it's tilted to the. Go ahead.
It's tilted.
Well, they're all they're all enlightened. You know, all those dumb hillbillies. You know, we don't know.
All right, the smart state goes to Massachusetts.
It had to be up there with Harvard and Boston U and all that stuff.
Yeah. Second smartest state?
Oh, same in the general area or California.
No, let's
California, Oregon. They might have found a way to get Oregon in there.
okay.
Colorado.
All right, you're all over the place. Let's stop. All right, number 10 smart. Number 10 smartest, Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Number
liberal state.
Number 9. Number
They
9.
are.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Where's the mute button at here?
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, try talking.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, it works. New York.
Oh, shocker.
New York, number 9. Phil, number 8, New Hampshire.
Northeast, right?
Phil, number 7, Vermont.
Northeast. Keep going.
You're so smart. Number 6, Virginia.
Gee, shocker.
Number 5, New Jersey.
right there next to New York.
Number 4, Connecticut.
Oh, boy, another shocker.
Number 3, Maryland.
They're right there.
Number 2, Colorado.
Well, imagine that. Let's get California out there, and it'll be a trifecta.
Nope, they're not. They're
not in there?
Not in the top 10,
goodness.
smart or dumbest.
Who is it? Who's number 1?
Well, we've gone over that. You can't remember. Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So exactly what I said, basically.
Yeah. So good job, Phil. Of what list?
No,
don't blame
the lists that are BS. I mean, these are the same. I mean, New York produced Chuck Schumer, for goodness sakes. I mean, I don't think he's very smart.
And we got Toby Keith. I mean,
right.
I mean,
a good American.
And the Mathis brothers.
Thank you. Enough said.
Exactly. All right, we're out of show notes. Phil, anything else? Make sure we're not missing anything.
Get all my stuff in.
Landry Chappell says you think our ACT or SAT scores would be high because the only ones taking it are the ones trying to get into. That's correct. Yeah.
That's a good point.
I never took the SAT. I never had the.
I scored a 32 on the ACT.
Well, you took it 3 times. You add them all together, you get 32. So. All right. Well, oh, yeah, I just saw Lindsay's Best Friends Forever.
Yeah, well, we are.
That needs to.
You're just jealous. You're jealous.
Nope. So do I need to lead us out with our music?
Not if it's that sensual stuff. This is the kind of stuff I listen with my wife.
Candles. We better get out of here. It's lunchtime. And I'll work on the music. I gotta find.
Country Boy Can Survive.
Well, they kick us off.
You can't really.
It's copyrighted music.
You can't pay for it.
I'm sure there might be. Those are expensive.
So you can't do any kind of video with a song that's just a common. What if you get paid for the download of the song and you own that? You like?
I think
like iTunes.
Yeah, there's a process.
Then you could probably do that, right?
Trust me, because we'd have a lot of Tracy Lawrence played. Pay me a Birmingham.
Dude, you have completely destroyed me because that's all I listen to now.
In fact, we're getting ready to head to Coil. I'm going to turn our music off since you don't like it. We're going to head over to Coil. We get to watch the Coil basketball tournament.
Yep.
We're going to have tacos for lunch.
Yep.
And then we're going to pick up kids from school. And then we are going to watch youth basketball tonight. So we got a busy day together.
Well, you're trying to redeem the reputation of Guthrie. You guys were embarrassed last year.
We were the 4th grade. We were the young team in that tournament.
Oh, here it comes, all the excuses.
Got to the championship game, Get out to a lead, just couldn't hold on to the lead against a very experienced 5th grade team. I
felt like the coaching was a little off.
Hey, I put them in the position. Sometimes it just comes down to execution, Phil. I mean, sometimes
we're trying to bounce back from an embarrassing weekend. So there's a lot riding.
It was a scrimmage. Luckily, it was just.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count toward the win-loss record. So our 4-0 record so far is looking good. But 4-0 doesn't do you any good tonight. You got to show up and play.
4-0 doesn't do you any good.
Doesn't do anything. And I do invite you out to St. Mary's Hoops Classic. They had the girls tournament last week, and it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Games at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. They don't charge the teams to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
It is a fundraiser for St. Mary's. Yeah. They charge at the gate. And they have a nice concession stand.
They do. They really do.
They do. So I invite you to go watch some youth basketball. It's a good tournament, and support them in that way. I definitely would do that. So
yeah, we'd like to play around these group of kids. It's really a fun little team that Chris coaches. A lot of they are Guthrie kids, with the exception of one, which is a Coil young man.
Oh yes,
who's amazing, wonderful kid. But they're fun to watch, and what I like about it is they're growing up together.
Yep.
So I would encourage you to go out and support the program. Like Chris said, it's all it's to raise money for the kids over at St. Mary's. So get out and bring your pocketbooks.
Absolutely, yeah. Ryan Conning, thank you. Tracy Lawrence, February 22nd in Enid. Do you know, Phil, this will be my 3rd concert in a row to see Tracy Lawrence on the front row.
Not only do I know Chris,
I mean, it'll be the 4th time in
I'm pretty sure Tracy Lawrence
3 years.
Security knows. It won't be long before there'll be papers drawn up to keep you away. I mean, you have a little bit of an unhealthy. I don't even know the right thing to say, but it's a little A little unhealthy, your feelings toward Tracy. In your office,
time marches on,
Tracy
Phil.
Lawrence's songs.
Well, no, hold on. It's a set list.
Okay,
it's set list.
That's right, because you were mad once because you didn't get a set list from somebody. Wasn't that right?
See, I got a set list from Joe Diffie.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little weird.
Because I'm a pickup man.
It's a little, boy, here we
I'm
go.
A pickup
When he starts doing this, when he starts doing this, it's over. It's over.
I'm not going to prop you up on the side of the jukebox anytime soon, but
you're just running behind.
But yeah. Hey, the good die young. The good die young. Hey,
you know what? The last thing I'd like to say, we're all made in America.
Made in America. It's who we love. It's what we do. But yeah, that Tracy Lawrence, that's from Sugar Creek. The other Tracy Lawrence set list was from Denton, Texas.
Oh, that was the scene of the crime.
No crime committed. Well, yeah, they were absolutely.
They pay a fine.
They.
How much was your fine that night? Wasn't it $300? Something like that. When it was all said.
$145 just to tow it.
Right.
There should be a rule against that. What was the name of the restaurant who told me?
I don't know.
I got that invoice somewhere too.
It was an outstanding moment that week on the high school huddle when we found out about it.
Yeah. So, all right. We need to get out of here. It's lunchtime. Back to the music, Phil. We are out of here. Hope you enjoyed our open mic podcast, episode number 3. And again, just kind of open topics, and we'll hopefully be adding some guests here and interviewing them and all that good stuff. My favorite podcast to follow right now, of course, Open Mic. Got the news page has one. Hit the Bricks. I strongly suggest that one. Justin Fortney and I do that, and we sat down with Gary Good this week, talked about some good stuff there. Big thank you to Aaron Ryburn. So follow that podcast. Also enjoy the Hetty Coleman podcast. Always good. Justin and I were on there, and I told Hetty, so you know, on your video side of things, Justin and I are number 1 in views.
Really?
Yeah, number 1 in views. Now Lindsay's on there with the Y, so I'm sure she'll take over. But
my buddy Dave Evans is working hard on the podcast.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, he is. He's working hard on it. It's for our company, one of the companies that I'm an owner of, with Dave. And
where can they find that pod? Do you know the name of the podcast?
It's Bold Leadership, I believe, but it's 100% Dave's doing. Obviously, I just write checks when said to.
Absolutely. That's our relationship.
That's our relationship.
Hey, don't let him get...
wife's relationship. You know what?
You tell Dave to back off a little bit. That's our relationship. All right, folks. We're out here. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next time.